Hello. I believe we are live. Hello.
Morning.
Pat, can you hear me?
Yep. Afternoon. Still morning. Yeah.
All right. Hey, literally a mic check with Officer Mike Harris. Mike, can you give us a mic check?
I'm checking. Check Mike.
Cool.
Mike check.
Mike, we're gonna talk to you today about your toy drive, CHiPs.
Yeah, absolutely. Our whole department kind of jumps on board with this every year. We're focusing here in the Valley Division, Sacramento region is where we do our toy drive, and we're kicking it off pretty hard and heavy, and we're happy to have you guys on board.
No, we're thrilled to be part of this. It's been too long. We do St. Jude every year. We used to do Toys for Tots and various other toy drives, Sacramento Sheriff's Department. So to be partnered up with you guys is really heartwarming for us. How can we help you?
Well, there's this year obviously we're doing things a little bit different because we got some limitations with COVID and some of the parameters that we're trying to keep everybody safe with that. So this year we're giving people the opportunity to ship their toys directly to our division office where we're going to store them until it's time to do our distribution. You can also go to any CHP office in the Sacramento area and you can drop your toys off there. And then the big event that we do every year with our partners with KCRA is we do a big toy collection day at Cal Expo. Last year we raised 6,825 toys that day alone at that event. So our goal this year is to try and beat that. But that's December 4th this year. And you can come by all day long from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m.
And I believe we're going to be out there for it towards the end, like 4:30 to 7, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, that'll be amazing.
Well,
I think did I have a question in the back?
Hey, Mike. So I'm on a little bit of a delay. So if I stumble in here awkwardly, it's not my usual. It's this thing's fault. But I do have a question about older kids, and that's something that it's being brought up more and more with these toy drives year after year. And that is, kids that are 12, 13 years old, they're still kids. They still need things, and a lot of times people just don't think about them, and it's no fault of their own. It's just kind of, you think of toys, you think of smaller kids, but older kids need stuff too, right?
Absolutely. And we always struggle with that, younger teenage to, 16, 17-year-old age. A lot of time people give gift cards. That usually works out really well because then they're able to go and get whatever they want, Targets, Walmart, stuff like that. Sporting equipment's usually been really popular with some of the older kids, basketballs, skateboards. So, it's definitely something to consider. We do get a lot of toys, and it's pretty easy to fulfill that younger age group, but you're right. Yeah. Whatever we can get for maybe that older generation is definitely going to help.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, Tom, and Mike, thank you for addressing that, because you think about it, when you were 12, 13, 14 years old, it didn't matter what your house looked like or what your income was. You probably still had the same desires, the same not needs necessarily, but wants, as somebody who had it pretty good. So, I think if I'm 13 and I'm unwrapping a skateboard, that's a great Christmas right there.
Yeah, it gets them outdoors, having some fun, and kind of have something to enjoy on Christmas. Pretty much what we're looking for.
And we want new unwrapped toys. You mentioned that.
Yeah,
already.
we can't accept anything that's used. Yeah, for sure.
Well, the other great thing about this is, Mike, as much as we love the Run to Feed the Hungry, and it's a great event, it really is. That's a $35 entry fee, and it all goes to a wonderful cause, but not everybody can afford that. To take part in the toy drive, for 10, 15 bucks, you can go get a toy that'll mean something to a kid. So is there a website or somewhere where people can go to see kind of what's needed?
The easiest place for people to find us is our CHP Valley Division social media. So Instagram, Facebook, we post a lot of stuff on there. That's kind of the content, the information. We have an event page on there for the December 4th event. It's usually the easiest place to go. We don't have a specific website for us, but you're the second person that's brought that up. So I think that's definitely going to be on our next year, something we can direct everybody to one central location for that information.
Do your officers then take the toys out and deliver them in person? And if so, what's that like? That's got to just be a wonderful moment after wonderful moment.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this is hands down the most enjoyable, rewarding thing that I get to do in my career. I've been doing this job for a little over 14 years. I've been doing the toy drive for 3, and seeing those kids when we do the distribution event is just amazing. We do vouchers, so we reach out to local community centers. We reach out to local schools that are able to identify who some of those families that might be struggling this time of year, and they get vouchers to come to our event. So it's a closed event. You have to have a voucher to go to it, and we try and get out as many as we can. And we try and get out as many resources as we can so that we can kind of distribute that kind of stuff.
Mike, what does the need look like this year?
With everything that's going on, I think our need's going to be pretty strong. When Campfire happened, we had a huge surge of people that were really supportive of the program and gave a lot of toys for the families that were in need from that. And I think we're going to see a lot of that this year. I think there's going to be a big need for support of a lot of families that are struggling. And, the holidays is about happiness, and we don't want to take that away from the kids. We want them to be able to experience. So whatever everybody can do, just like you said, it doesn't have to be a big fancy toy. If you get something small, that's what's going to mean something to the kids, is to have something. And so any support we can get, we definitely appreciate.
I remember being a kid. I mean, like the best toy in the world when you're like a 9-10-year-old boy is a ball of any kind. And that,
yeah.
And the thing is, I mean, we are all so taxed because of this pandemic. You've got families who they don't have, the parents don't have their jobs right now. Or like you mentioned there, we had more terrible fires this year and people burned out of their homes. But then you have all of us together collectively. We want to help. This is like, I don't think any of us have ever seen a moment like this. And this is a chance where so often we feel helpless that we can actually do something tangible. And as Pat mentioned, and as you do acknowledge, it doesn't have to be all that much. A very simple gesture is going to go more than a little ways towards making somebody's Christmas.
Yeah. And the big plus is it all stays local. Like we don't outsource this stuff. It's all local families. It's all local kids in the area. It's going to support local people in Sacramento area. And so that's kind of our goal for this process. And, we do our big distribution event. And if we have any toys left over, we get those out to local facility, like charity organizations that have separate donation things that they do locally. So it all stays local, and it's all for here in the Sacramento area.
Right, the CHiPs toy drive, and again, you can mail them in, or if you want, there's an all-day event December the 4th. That is a Friday out at Cal Expo.
You got to beat that number.
I can't see it.
6,825.
It's probably visible on the Facebook stream. Is there any other thing that you want to make sure that people know? Maybe something that got by us here this morning?
I think we touched on a lot of the really important parts about it, and it really comes down to making the kids just have an enjoyable holiday. And I tell you, if you go to our Facebook page, there's a video on there from last year that we filmed of our event and all the toys set up for the kids to go through. Normally, we let the kids kind of walk through the event space and they can pick out whatever toys they want. Because of COVID this year, we're going to have people stay in their cars, so that's kind of going to change a little bit. But you can really see what the impact of those donations are on some of the kids, and really see what it looks like to have all of our donations laid out in this room. And it's amazing. It's such a cool thing to be a part of, and we'll make sure that we're showcasing it too.
Well, it's a wonderful event, and thank you for letting us be a small part of it this year. And will we see you on the 4th?
Oh, absolutely. I'll be out there the entire run of the day. I'll be out there. So looking forward to it.
Good. Looking forward to meeting you.
Cool. Thanks, guys. I really
appreciate it.
Thank
you, Officer Mike.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, guys.